Good afternoon, people. This is Patricia Juba. I am the founder of A Life Worth Living Corp in this podcast. And today we have a very special guest, Tonda Bean. She is the owner of Wisdom in Minutes, LLC. And we're so happy that she's here to share her journey and her experience with us. Good afternoon, Tanda.
Patricia, how are you?
I'm doing well. How is your day going thus far?
It's been wonderful.
All right. So I'm going to dive right in, just how I do. Dive right into the questions because we want to hear from you and hear about your journey. So, what inspired you to start Wisdom in Minutes, LLC? And how was your journey as an entrepreneur to shape your approach for this business?
Well, I was a Girl Scout leader, working with the girls from the time they were in about third grade until they graduated high school. Now,
Nice.
we
I
talk
was a
about,
Girl Scout.
there we go. There we go. It's
First,
a great experience. It's such a great
yes, it
experience.
is.
And,
Yes,
Girl Scouts are all about helping girls to become women of courage, confidence, and character. That's what
yes.
we're doing. All right. We're getting them ready to launch. We're trying to make sure that they know all the things they need to know. Okay. So, about ninth grade, they started coming to me and they would say, Mr. Applied a super fantastic program, and they asked me for a letter of recommendation. Can you write me one? And I would say, sure, honey. I can write you a beautiful letter. Send me your resume. Because I
Okay.
have a corporate background, and that's what corporate people say. And
Right.
they would stop and look at me real hard. Miss Tonda, what's a resume? Okay. Now, this was especially alarming because I had such a mix of girls in my troop. They were in a whole mix of schools. I was in downtown DC,
Okay.
city proper. So we had people from DC Public, DC Private, DC Charter, Prince
Mm-hmm.
George's County, Maryland Public, Montgomery County, Maryland Public, and a whole range of private schools all around.
Okay.
Okay, some of them kind of big name and exclusive. And nobody had a resume. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that really, as you go out, you're not ready for people to like you. Because if
Right.
people like you and they say, oh, we have something in our company that you could probably do, we have a summer program that would be great for you. The next thing they say is, send me your resume.
Right.
All right. So the girls were not ready. And I
Mm-hmm.
realized because I had this wide range of schools and that they were being instructed of different groups of academics instructing the girls, I realized that the academics don't feel this is important. This isn't something that comes up early. This isn't something that's universal. It's something
Right.
that if you take
That's true.
a particular course offered at a particular grade level, you might develop a resume. But when you finish, everybody needs one.
Right.
Okay.
That's true.
So I started working with the girls to develop resumes. And then I said, okay, but they need to know how to talk to people too. So we started working with how to talk to people. And I said, okay, well, you need to do all this because you got to find yourself a career, honey. Okay, so we talked about why and how to find a career. How do you do that? How do you figure it out? Because they had the general direction. You'll figure it out, but nobody says how to
How
figure it
that's
out
true. Oh
and
my,
when
that's
to
true.
start. When do you need to start figuring it out? How long does it take you to figure out? And is it something that you can do in um in 11th grade or 12th grade right before you graduate? I have 10 minutes. I need to figure out what I want to do so I can do a major. It doesn't work that way. It really doesn't work.
Right.
Okay. And so I developed all this stuff, and when I started looking at the data, 52% of of college graduates are underemployed. 52%.
That is very high.
Well, it goes up if you're black. So if the
Mm-hmm.
children look like they might be mine, there it's 60% that
Yeah.
are underemployed.
Hmm.
So you got to work around that. We got to work around that. And so I started doing all this working, trying to work with them, weaving it in to what
Mm-hmm.
else we were doing in Girl Scouting. And then everybody graduated, and I had all this information in this program. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to offer it. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
offer it. But that's what we're going
Okay.
to do with this information. And that's how I got started.
Oh, that is awesome. That's awesome. And just to share, I made it up to a cadet
Mm.
in the Girl Scouts. So that's amazing. I haven't ran into anyone that was a Girl Scout leader in many, many
Oh,
years.
yes. Oh, yes. And
Yes.
the thing is, Girl Scouting as a leader, it shaped my perspective too. So it's
Hmm.
not just for the girls. You get, they say you can't really give and help people without helping yourself.
Right.
It
That's
helped
true.
me to see things differently. Working with the girls and trying to learn the ways that they would actually do what we wanted them to do, and how to approach things, and things like gift wrapping. We decided we were going to be a get gift wrapping. We There was a a what is it? A personal buyer, a personal shopper who was
Oh,
at a
yes,
department
yes.
store,
Right.
and she was one of the mothers of a Girl Scout. And she said, "Oh, well, I can get you in to do gift wrapping." Well, I had to figure out girls didn't know how to wrap gifts. We had to have gift wrapping practice sessions. So I would go in there with empty boxes and newspaper and ribbon and teach them how to wrap
And make it
gifts.
happen. Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
So there are all these little things that you learn trying to, get results. And it's
Yes.
very important to just go on and give to people, give and help, and you'll help yourself too.
That's right. That's right. Do you still do that now? Are you still a leader?
No, no, the way that we did it at the church where I was, and it wasn't my church, but you kind of go with your daughters. You go with your daughters to the
Okay.
program, and you have the option to stay, but I decided not to. So when my
Okay.
last girl graduated, I stayed an extra year to make sure that all the girls in my troop graduated, and
Mm-hmm.
then I moved on and
Okay.
passed the mantle.
Okay. So, can you tell us what are the biggest challenges parents face when trying to guide their children through career and college exploration? And how do you help them address that?
Okay. One of the biggest things, here's the biggest problem. The single biggest problem is that it comes at an awkward time in human
Mm-hmm.
development. Okay. The
Mm-hmm.
heavy lift of the teenage years is to differentiate yourself from your parents. That's the heavy lift.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so you can't differentiate yourself and say, yes, mama, I will do everything you say all the time. That's not differentiating. That,
Right.
so teens tend to start saying no, and parents start getting no's that don't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say, there'll come a moment when you say, "Oh, I'm going to the mall. I'm going down to the mall. You want to go with me?" No.
Right.
But you like the mall. And you were talking about getting this particular t-shirt. We can go
Mm-hmm.
shopping for that t-shirt. No, I don't want to go. Oh, I'll buy you one of those pretzels. Those pretzels or Cinnabon. I'll buy you Cinnabon. No.
Yes.
And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't make sense. That's the
Right.
differentiation piece.
Yes.
Getting around that is the hardest thing. because at that same time when they're trying to differentiate from you, they need all this special guidance about how to handle themselves in the world.
Right.
And they start to look like adults, even though mentally you don't mature until you're almost 25. But your body
Mm-hmm.
starts looking like adults, and
Right.
all the predators know it. They go, "Oh, look at that one.
Yeah,
I,
developed.
I,
Yes.
I got plans. I can do something with that one. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you
Right.
know." So at that same time, all of this is going on at the same time, and you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to tell your child to do this, do that, do this, do that. And here's the thing: what I tell the parents is part of the job of parenting is to kind of pour water on their ideas, because they get bright ideas about, you know, to this party that's way across town with these people I hardly know, but they said it's going to be a real party. No, no, you
Mm-hmm.
can't go. All
Right.
right. It sounds great to you. I know good and well if you go way across town with some people who you don't know that well, you're going to have a hard time making sure that you get back when you want to get back.
That's right.
No. So you're giving you're giving pearls of wisdom as a
Mm-hmm.
parent, along with all these little pebbles. And the pebbles are, no, you can't go to the party. Look, do you know you're supposed to be cleaning up the dishes? Do you understand that? Your shoes in the middle of the floor, right?
Right.
And by the
Right.
way, I want you to know that you're a really confident, you're a wonderful person, and do your homework. So
Mm-hmm.
so you have the pearls and you have the pebbles all mixed in together. The thing that I do, I only give the pearls. I
Okay.
give the pearls. I say, young one, listen, here's this pearl for you. You can take this pearl and you can do all kinds of things with it, baby. I have confidence in you. I believe in you. Your parents have called me here to talk to you because they believe in you too. And with this pearl, you can do all kinds of things. And I leave.
Mm-hmm.
So the impact is different. The impact is very different. And that's the biggest help because I'm giving pearls. Some of them are pearls that parents have. Some of them are pearls that I understand because I've completed the road. I've walked the whole road that they're on right now.
Yes.
So,
Mm-hmm.
you learn things as you walk down the road and you see things as you walk down the road. And if you
Mm-hmm.
come back to tell somebody else, you're coming with experience that they don't have yet.
That's right.
So
That's right.
that's the piece. Those are the pieces that I offer most. They're the most valuable pieces. And the thing is, I know that there are specific things you need to do in
Mm-hmm.
order um, to succeed in college. And one of the things I had to learn for as an entrepreneur is I have to narrow. I can't actually help everybody. It'd be lovely to help everybody, but I can't actually help everybody. There's not that much of me. So
Right.
I decided I have to focus on people who are college bound, who have that kind of expectations for their kids, that
Mm-hmm.
they really mean for their kids to get to college and mean for their kids to go get through college successfully. And that success means you're going to get this career going. And the
Mm-hmm.
career gives you satisfaction and the ability to move out.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You gotta be able to move out. If you can't,
Yes.
if you go to
Yes.
college and you come home and you sit down on the couch and watch Netflix, ooh,
That's
mama's
it.
not gonna be happy. Mama's not gonna be happy. So, that understanding of the big picture, because a lot of times we get very segmented pictures and
Mm-hmm.
parents everybody gets real excited about get into college. Did you get into college? What college did you get into? Did you get in? Did you get in? But
Mm-hmm.
the success is not that you got in. The success is that you got out with what you need to do what you want. That's a success.
It's a big difference.
It's a big difference.
Hmm.
And I tell the kids it's almost like a grocery store thing, you know? You can go into the grocery store, fill up your cart, spend your time, spend all your money, and come out without dinner for the whole week next week.
That's right.
If you go in, I mean, because it's filled with interesting things, and
Right.
colleges are filled with interesting things, and you can go in, take your time, spend all that money, come out with a degree that you never use. Is that success? I don't think it
I
really
wouldn't
is.
say so.
You need to have a degree that you're going to use in some kind of way, and you need to know how you're going to use it so that you can get what you want, which is that independent adulthood.
All right. All right. So, Tonda, how can parents foster an environment at home that encourages their children to dream big while being realistic about opportunities?
Okay. That's two parts. There are two parts to that question.
Yes, it
The
is.
dream big and the opportunities. So I'm gonna tell you
Yes.
a story about that.
Okay.
Um, my grandmother was Louise Williams Webb.
Mm-hmm.
She was in 1920s in New Orleans, Louisiana, and
Mm-hmm.
um, that was highly segregated. It was serious South. Okay, you don't
Mm-hmm.
get any
Right.
further south than New Orleans without getting your feet wet. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay.
all right. Now something went on in her marriage, and I'm hearing everything from secondhand.
Right.
But something went on, and it was so serious that she decided she had to leave her husband in the middle of the Great Depression with five little girls in tow. Five.
Mm.
Okay. Now, Louise Williams Webb, Louise had an eighth grade education because they didn't really believe that women needed a whole lot of education. You were
Mm-hmm.
supposed to have babies. That was your big thing. You're supposed to be married, have babies, raise your family. You didn't need a whole lot of education. And the other thing is they didn't think black folk needed a whole lot of education. So eighth
Right.
grade was fine. You could read,
Yeah.
write, and do your numbers. That was fine. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, when she left her husband, all of a sudden, everything was boom. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But she told her daughter that she could be a teacher. She told her daughter, my mother, Fanny, that she could be a teacher. There was no money for a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There was, and the thing is, Louise told her daughters, she said, when times get hard, people ask for a diploma to push a doggone broom. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
she made sure that five girls, all of them got through high school. Five girls, all of them got something after high school. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my mother did not become a teacher right out of high school. Instead, they talked around, they got her into a phone operator, a telephone switchboard operator
Oh, my
position.
mother was one of those. She told us
Yes.
that. Hmm.
And she used the money from that to take a typing course to learn to type at the YMCA, School of Commerce they had. All right. And she wanted to get out of New Orleans because she was a dark-skinned woman. And whenever she would go, when she went to look for a job, she kept running into the same line. Well, we can't have you in this job facing the public, but there are a lot of ways a pretty little girl like you can make money in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
So she decided she needed out of New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
She took a government test. World War II was scaling up. She took a test on the typing. They gave her a job in the Pentagon in
Wow.
Washington, D.C. All right.
Yes.
And after a while, she married. And after she was married, her husband, Vernon, sent her to college and she became a teacher. But
Wow.
who had told her she could be a teacher?
Your
Lu-
grandmother.
Louise told that her baby she could be a
Mm-hmm.
teacher. All right. And
Yes.
five girls in a good time town where they were always encouraging black women to be good time girls. Louise,
Mm-hmm.
five girls. She had a cosmetologist, two nurses, a dietitian, and an English teacher.
Praise
Don't worry
God.
about the opportunities. Don't worry about the opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
God takes care of the opportunities. Nobody else could have done that.
Exactly.
Who else could have positioned Fanny
Mm-hmm.
to get a job in Washington, D.C. when she was trying to get out of New Orleans because they wanted her to be a good time girl? Who else could
Mm-hmm.
have done that? All right. You do the best you can. Give your children the faith and the dreams. You dream for them and then let them take over the dream. So
I
you
like
have the
that.
big dream for them.
Mm-hmm.
And in
Mm-hmm.
time, they'll take over the dream. Fanny, I asked my mother, she said she didn't remember when she decided to be a teacher,
Mm-hmm.
but she remembered that her mother encouraged her. I said, oh, that's what happened. Her mother decided that she could be a teacher, and there was
Mm-hmm.
no money to send her to any kind of college because there were no public colleges accepted blacks in New Orleans, and there was
Mm-hmm.
not money to send her away. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't money
Yes.
because it's Great Depression. All right. So don't worry about the opportunities. Don't limit yourself by the opportunities you see because you don't see the future. If you could see the future,
Right.
you'd make a fortune in lottery tickets, But
Right.
we can't
Right.
do that. We
Right.
don't see the future. So just
Right.
see what your child can do. See what makes them interested. See what they lose time on and
Mm-hmm.
encourage those things and let the opportunities present themselves. Keep an eye out for the
Yes.
opportunities.
Pay attention. That is wonderful. I'm
Yes.
glad you said that, and I can't wait until uh, parents see this and see what you're saying to them because it's vitally important, necessary, and on time. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
What are the strategies and tools that you recommend to assist parents, even more so than what you just said about
Mhm.
looking out at them, at
The
what they're good at and what they lose time in? I like that also.
Yeah. A lot of it is observing and giving them space and encouraging them not to watch things, but to try things, to do things. Right now we get dominated by this thing. Okay? We get
Right.
dominated by this thing. And people will spend hours watching a video game, watching your phone, watching. Get them to do things. Learn to cook for something. Learn to,
Yes.
you know, learn to clean something, learn to make something, learn how something is put together, learn the steps, learn to play some kind of musical instrument. It could be a harmonica. It's
Yeah.
fine, you
It
know,
is fun. Yes. I
but
learned
do
how to play the
anything.
violin. It's fun.
Yes, it's fun and it gives you a different appreciation of
Hmm.
musicians. Even if you don't become one, you
Right.
said, oh, for 10 minutes in sixth grade, I played that. And that was wonderful. He's doing a great job. That takes so much air,
Right.
patience, whatever,
Right. Right.
to do that.
Yes.
Look at how and you're seeing the
Right.
world, you're seeing the world
Exactly.
differently because you had a taste of things.
Right.
So as a parent, what you want to keep doing is getting them to taste things. Okay,
Yes.
go try this. Okay. And I really believe in that summers are vital because in summer you get
Mm-hmm.
to decide what your child will kind of do without the school telling you what they have to do. You
Right.
get to be the one in charge of their activities. Let's see what you can do. And
Mhm.
anything they're weak in, there's probably a workbook for that. Anything
Mhm.
they're strong in, there may be some kind of camp for that,
Yeah.
you know? And
Hmm.
just let them do things and you observe and see what they are really good at. And later on, you'll figure out how to connect that to other things in their lives. And they'll figure it out too.
Right. Oh my God, I love this, Tonda. I love this. I needed you when I was raising my kids. Whew.
That's that's been my big challenge is that the people who have done it already, they understand the value. But the
Yes.
people who are in it are listening to the school and thinking that that's not their position. When
Hmm.
really it's up to you. The school is there, but there's not a name. It's one of those things. There's not a name. If your child finishes 12th grade and you realize they never learned multiplication worth 2 cents, is there a person you could call and say, "Excuse me, would you go back and work with my child on multiplication because really
Right.
they need something?" There's no name. Guess
Right.
who the person is? Is you.
Yes. Yes.
There's nobody else you can call. Okay,
Right.
so you may as well know that. If you know that early, you can
Hmm.
do something about it. If you wait, then it's a problem.
That's true. That is absolutely true. Wow. Could you share a story of a family that you worked with? Of course, without any names, but how your guidance helped them achieve their goals.
Sure, sure. Here's what happened. I had there was a Girl Scout troop. I did a series of workshops for them. They
Hmm.
were in middle school. So it was
Okay.
early according to how, most people think about the time. But I always talk to the kids about career and thinking about career and looking at things and trying to
Hmm.
put two and two together. So I had a girl in there who and we'll call her Katie. So Katie
Hmm.
said I asked her about what she wanted to do. And she said she wanted to be a dancer because she loved dance. Now her mother was in medical field. She didn't want to do that. She loved dance. And she
Hmm.
said she thinks she wanted to be a dancer. In high school, Katie realized she looked at it harder and realized that what she wanted to do was not to be a dancer. She loved costumes.
Okay. Yes.
She learned to sew.
Hmm.
And she learned to sew so well she could tailor. And then she got herself to working with a Ghanaian tailor.
Hmm.
Now, the thing is, what what Paris is to European fashion and what France is in the fashion world,
Yes.
Ghana is in African fashion.
Okay.
So girlfriend was really learning. By the end of high school, she could do all kinds of things and she applied to Parsons School of
Okay.
Design, one of the leading design schools in the world. She applied to Parsons, got in. I ran into her mother a little later, and she said, not only is that child in Parsons, she has gotten a full-time job, an actual job, not an internship, with the Metropolitan Opera Company in the wardrobe
Wow.
department. And she
It's
was
awesome.
invited to speak before the UN on sustainable fashion.
Isn't that amazing? That it's amazing.
Yes,
Yes.
because she went on and started. And so
Yes.
here's the question. The question for is what can't she do?
You're right.
She had time. She had time. She took the time. She did the work. She started figuring out. She was talking to people, all of that. There's specific things you need to do, and they change from industry to industry, but you've got to figure out which things. And I
Right.
work with the figuring out process. And you need to start figuring out while you have time.
Yes.
Not when it's my application is due on Friday and I need
Right.
to fill in this major slot. They asked what major? Oh, any meaning Biccolini. Okay, boom.
Yes. Right. That's true.
Not it, baby. That's
Yes.
not it.
That's
Okay.
right.
So, that's the big thing. That's the big thing.
Awesome. So, Atonda, what advice would you give parents who might feel overwhelmed by the process, helping their child navigate the career and college decisions?
The first thing is to start early.
Yes.
Okay. And I think this is one of the things that I tell people when I'm working with them, and I'm also when I have my webinars and such, I try to make sure I want to change the way we think about it.
Hmm.
The order that we go in now, a lot of times is college, choose a college, then choose a major, then worry about a career. Okay, so we're
Hmm.
going first, first you get the college, then you get the major, then you get the career. I think that's backwards. That's backwards.
Hmm.
First, you need to decide on the career and not a specific career, but a general career. Are you trying to go into law or medicine or
Hmm.
education or something else? What is it you want to go into? What area, what career cluster are you interested in? Decide that first. Then figure out what major is interesting to you in that career cluster. Okay? Because when
Yes.
you figure out the major, that narrows the colleges. You shouldn't feel the urge to apply to 50 colleges. Because if you figure out what you want to major in, you're going to then want to get into colleges that have that major available.
That's right. Instead of finding out you're in a place that doesn't even serve the need that you went there for in the first place.
Yes,
That makes so much sense.
right. So that's the first thing
Yeah.
is change up the order.
Right.
Spend some time up front doing the career piece and then the major piece. And then you'll wind up with, 5 or 6 colleges that
Hmm.
would serve. Okay.
Hmm.
And that's the biggest thing. The next thing is to talk around to people who've done it. Talk around and get their
Hmm.
lessons. They can
Okay.
tell you this is you're not the first person who's ever done this. So you know somebody who can tell you something about the process and get your children talking around too.
Right.
And cut things into small pieces and
Hmm.
actually do the small pieces early.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to say, it's early. You don't have to do that until you don't wait until you have to do it.
Right. Give yourself
Don't wait.
time.
Give yourself time because it may
Yes.
be what I've told my daughters is, you know, a lot of things, number one, they look different up close from the way
Hmm.
they looked across the room. So get up close
Right.
and take a look. And the other thing is there are hidden steps.
Okay.
There are hidden steps. People they look at things like it's a cooking show on TV.
Hmm.
On the cooking show, they'll say, today we're going to do beef bourguignon. And you're going to take your mushrooms, here are the mushrooms, put them in the pot. And then you're going to have your green peppers. You put those in the pot. And you have your celery. You put it in the pot. And you already sauteed this beef that you're going to put in, and you're going to cut it up and you're going to put it in. And then you have this lovely sauce that we've already made and put it in the pot. They do the beef bourguignon in half an hour. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
When you start trying to do beef bourguignon, you're going to have to start at the grocery store.
That's right. Right.
There are all
Knowing
these
what to buy.
steps. There are all
Exactly.
these steps that we didn't talk about. And
Right.
your mushrooms don't wind up, they don't start off in this little 1 cup measured amount sitting on the side. Oh, I've got to buy the mushrooms and then cut them up.
Right.
Oh, then I've got to cut up. I've got to pick. How do you pick good mushrooms now? Oh, hold on. How do you pick? How do you pick leeks? There are leeks in there. I don't usually buy leeks. How do I pick a good leek? You know.
Right.
So you can have all these extra steps that are not generally discussed. People just act like, oh yes, of course that's done. And then what
Right.
you've seen is the television version.
Right.
You've
Right.
seen the beautiful TV version where everything was ready, and then poof, 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 and then they come out with the beautiful cooked dish, and everybody goes, "Oh, that's wonderful! That smells wonderful. Here, have a
Right.
taste. Oh, tastes wonderful.
Right.
Come on."
So just what you were saying earlier, that's the way back view. And
Yes,
how important it is to get up close to see what you actually need, what it actually entails. Yeah, I love that analogy, Tonda. Yes, it
it's a
makes
bit
so
different.
much
It's a
sense.
bit different.
Yes,
And
big, big.
and would you want to serve if Auntie Joe was coming by? Would you want the beef bourguignon to be the first time you made it? Would you want it to be when Auntie Joe was coming by, or would you want to do it once and then serve it to company?
Right, exactly.
Okay. So what you're seeing is really, this very practiced product that
Mm-hmm.
they've produced this dish that looks wonderful, tastes wonderful. That's not the first time they did the dish.
That's right.
And it shouldn't be your first time either when you're trying to really make it work.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to give yourself early to get things really, going.
I love it. Tonda, I love it. Hmm. This is wonderful. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
If I could just be plain and raw, this is good stuff. So many
Yeah.
people need you.
I hope they come find me too.
Yes, and I hope so too. The whole point of you being
Oh,
here. Thank you for all that you shared. And my last question to you, Tonda, is how can people get a hold of you? What platforms are you on?
well, I'm on LinkedIn,
Okay,
and to a lesser extent, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Um, I have a website. It's wisdominminutes.com,
okay,
and one word smashed together. And also, it happens that I do webinars from time to time. And so you can always check classrooms2career.com and see if I have an upcoming webinar. Those are free.
okay. Okay, thank you so much. So informative. Too bad my kids are all grown now, because this is awesome. You are awesome, and I'm so grateful
Mm.
that you were here to share. Um, so thank you. I want to
Certainly.
say thank you again. I had an amazing time with you, learning from you and learning what you do with
Uh,
excellence.
Thank you, Patricia. I'm so glad that you could have me on. Thanks for the opportunity of talking with you and your audience.
Okay. So we thank you. I know you've got many nuggets from Tonda on this time on the podcast. We thank her. And if anyone out here is interested in being one of my guests, you can reach out to me at on my email at pjuba, Juba, at a lifeworthlivingcorp.org. Send me an email and let's connect. God bless. Okay.